माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यामुनतीरावनचारी। यामुनतीरावनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यामुनतीरावनचारी। यामुनतीरावनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय ओं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, The Killing of the Demon Putana, text 18, and we'll also, text 19, and also we'll try to see text 20, does not have a purport. Yashoda Rohinibhyam Taha Samam Bhalasya Sarvatah Rakshang Vidadhire Samyak Go Pucha Brahmana Adibihi Yashodarohini Byam Cha Byam Ta Samang Bhalasya Sarvatah Raksham Vidadhire Samyag Gopucha Brahmana Dibihi Yashodarohini Byangta Samang Bhalasya Sarvatah Rakshang Vidadhire Samyag Gopucha Brahmana Dibihi Yashodarohini Byangta Samang Bhalasya Sarvatah Rakshang Vidadhire Samyag Gopucha Brahmana Dibihi. Mataji. Vyamta Samang Bhalasya Sarvatah Rakshang Vidadhire Samyag Gopucha Brahmana Dibihi Yashodarohinibhyam. With Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini, who principally took charge of the child. Taha, the other gopis. Samam, equally as important as Yashoda and Rohini. Bhalasya, of the child. Sarvatah, from all dangers. Raksham, protection. Vidadhire, executed. Samyak, completely. Gopucha Brahmana Adibihi, by waving around the switch of a cow. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. Thereafter, Mother Yashoda and Rohini, along with the other elderly gopis, waved about the switch of a cow to give full protection to the child Sri Krishna. Purport. When Krishna was saved from such a great danger, Mother Yashoda and Rohini were principally concerned, and the other elderly gopis, who were almost equally concerned, followed the activities of Mother Yashoda and Rohini. Here we find that in household affairs, ladies could take charge of protecting a child simply by taking help from the cow. As described here, they knew how to wave about the switch of a cow so as to protect the child from all types of danger. There are so many facilities afforded by cow protection, but people have forgotten these arts. The importance of protecting cows is therefore stressed by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishi Gorakshya Vanijyam Vaishyakarma Swabhavajam. Even now in the Indian villages surrounding Vrindavana, the villagers have happily simply by giving protection to the cow. The villagers live happily simply by giving protection to the cow. They keep cow dung very carefully and dry it to use as fuel. They keep a sufficient stock of grains, and because of giving protection to the cows, they have sufficient milk and milk products to solve all economic problems. Simply by giving protection to the cow, the villagers live so peacefully. Even the urine and stool of cows have medicinal value. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yashoda Rohinibhyam ta samang bhalasya sarvatah rakshang vidadhire samyag gopucha brahmanadibihi. Thereafter, Mother Yashoda and Rohini, along with the other elderly gopis, waved about the switch of a cow to give full protection to the child Sri Krishna. So as I just said before, I will also just read the shloka and the translation of text 20 because it's very much related to the act of protection of Mother Yashoda and Rohini. So I'll just read that. Go mutrena snapayitva punargo rajasarbhakam raksham chakruscha shakrita dvadasangeshu namabihi. The child was thoroughly washed with cow urine and then smeared with the dust raised by the movements of the cows. Then different names of the Lord were applied with cow dung on 12 different parts of the body, beginning with the forehead, as done in applying tilaka. In this way, the child was given protection. So now we are seeing here how Mother Yashoda and Rohini, when they saw this act of when Putana expanded herself and then she showed her ghastly form, and so they were in great fear. And as it was explained in text 18, Akuto Bhayam, the word was used. So without fear, Krishna was just sitting on top of Putana and he was very peaceful. He didn't cry, so he was very happy. But Yashoda and Rohini, they were in great anxiety. And also in the purport, previous text 18 purport, Prabhupada makes quite some significant points. We will just see a few things and then we will move to today's text. So Srila Prabhupada is speaking about how Krishna is very powerful in any stage. That means in whether he is a baby or is in his youth or he becomes grown up further, his power doesn't diminish or he doesn't gain in power like we see with the conditioned soul. So that is, Srila Prabhupada makes the point that Lord is equally powerful in any transcendental form. So this is another thing. So one is that in any stage he is very powerful. And another aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that he may appear in any form, still he is powerful. So that is Bhagavan. So that's why we see Krishna, although Putana expanded herself, she expanded herself into a big form, but he remained a small boy, a small child, right word to use. he was remained a small child, and then he just sucked out her breath. So that was one significant point Srila Prabhupada is making. Then Srila Prabhupada goes on to say that Krishna is real in any situation, as a child or as a grown-up young man. He's the same person. So this is again, so this is again a very clear statement which establishes the point that there is no question of Krishna being an imaginary form, as some so-called Mahatmas they blabber this, that Krishna is real in all stages of life, in any situation. So that point Srila Prabhupada emphasizes, and also this Srila Prabhupada repeats again and again in several places that there is no need for Krishna to take any efforts. So he doesn't have to take any extra endeavor to perform any act, and he does not have to practice also to perform any act. For example, someone has to lift weight. There are weightlifting champions who go for months and years. They spend so much time and energy practicing, gradually increasing the weight, and then they're lifting it, and then they're just checking their stamina. And then, so for Krishna, it is just sankalpa matrena. He just thinks about it, everything happens. So Prabhupada makes the point that parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate swabhaviki jnana bhala kriyacha. So it's good to discuss these points, because this immediately reminds us of Krishna's amazing potencies, how he is the Supreme Lord, how he is Bhagavan, how he can perform various activities. So that's quite significant in the previous purport. Prabhupada is speaking about the Shadaishwarya Purna, how as Bhagavan he is having all the 6 opulences. So now coming back to today's verse, and also if we just go by the theme of this entire chapter, we can see Shukadeva Goswami's mood. Then he's stressing the point that actually who is Krishna here in Vrindavan? For the gopis and the gopas and Mother Yashoda, Rohini and all the elderly gopis, Krishna is a small child. They don't see him as God. Krishna is not God in Vrindavan. That is the perspective with which that is the reality there. So he doesn't exhibit, he doesn't show himself as God, although he is the Supreme Lord himself sitting there. So that is understanding, and we can see that Shukadeva Goswami also in today's verse is using the word bhalasya, and then bhalam in the previous verse, and then in the next verse we can see he's using the word arbhakam, reminding that he's a small child. He's a child. This is again an amazing thing. As a small child, he could accomplish all these activities. So this is achintya in one sense. How is it possible for a small child? We can just see any small child, anything, if they see some insect or someone who comes who looks very, quite black or with big beard, they get scared. They immediately cry or like that. Krishna, it's no problem. He's the Supreme Lord. Yet the gopis and the gopas, their mood here, we can specifically see in this verse today. What is that they are doing? Yashoda, Rohinibhyam, Yashoda and Rohini, Taha, along with all the other gopis, what did they do? Raksham Vidadhire. That's what they do. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to protect the Lord. This is again another thing which is difficult to understand. The Lord is giving protection to everyone and everything in this entire universe. And here, the gopis and the gopis, what they're trying to do, they're trying to protect the Lord. So very specifically, it is emphasizing this mood of Vatsalya, how they are ready to protect the Lord. And for them, Krishna is a small child, that's all. They may even pray to Vishnu, please, Narayana, protect this boy from any kind of calamity. This is their mood in which they approach. So this is the Vatsalya Bhav, which is predominant here with Mother Yashoda and Rohini. So that is being seen here. And so what did they do? So it is explained that Samang Bhalasya Sarvataha. So the other gopis who are as good as, Prabhupada points out that they are as good as Yashoda and Rohini, because they also had intense affection for Krishna. They had great love for Krishna, intense affection for Krishna. And so they performed, what did they do? Bhalasya Sarvataha Raksham Vidadire Samyak. Very nicely they performed the activities of protecting him. And how did they protect him? Gopucha Brahmanadibihi. So they took the the tail of the cow, and then they began the protection process. So Prabhupada says that in the purport, is making the point that so there is to protect a child simply by taking the help from a cow, one can protect the child. So these the ladies knew about this in the villages. He said specifically that's what the gopis were. That's what they were doing. So that's one thing, and yeah. So what they did is they took the tail of the cow and then they waved it around the child. Even now you can see in the villages, that elderly ladies, they can see they will, when we see the commentary of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he adds some more on this. So he says that um, they were also having mustard seeds in their hand, and then they were going around the child with the mustard seeds. And also there is a, what do you call, they call it, the word used in English is winnowing basket, like they have to separate the dust and the small stones from the grains. They used to have a basket in which they clean it, right? So they used that basket. They touched, the edge of the basket was touched on Krishna. So this is also, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is mentioning that. So this is also they did. And yeah, so in this way, they try to protect the child. So then Srila Jiva Goswami points out that actually Mother Yashoda and Rohini, they did not perform any of these activities. They said, because it seems that they were in great anxiety. They were stunned in anxiety. What happened? What happened to Krishna? Is he safe? So they were in great anxiety. So that point is being made. So that shows their mood of Vatsalya. So seeing there in that situation, the other elderly gopis, they performed all these activities trying to protect the child. In this connection, just it reminded me of one incident of when I think it is Nammarwar. He was meditating when he just thought about the incident of how Mother Yashoda with the stick is trying to chastise Krishna, chasing Krishna. When he just thought about that incident, he actually fainted. He lost consciousness. For 6 months, he was in trance. He completely lost himself, and then gradually he came back to his consciousness. So these are who can understand all these things. These are the great moods of the devotees who are in great love with Krishna. So they are completely attached to the Lord, and they express their love like that. So here, so that is the point here. Then what else they did? As the next verse explains, they washed the child with go mutra, the urine of the cow, and then snapayitva. So thoroughly they washed the child, and then punargo rajasa, go rajas arbhakam. Go rajas is the dust from the feet of the cows. So with that also they took the dust and then they made the movements all around them. And then raksham chakrushcha shakrita. Shakrita. So again, just a point to make. It's very important sometimes when whomsoever it is possible, we should try to pronounce properly. There is a difference between sakrita and shakrita. When you say sakrita, sakradeva prapannoyam, sakrid means it's once. And here it is shakrid, means it refers to cow dung, right? Yeah, with the cow dung, yes. So, so they also, what they did with the cow dung, they applied tilak. Dwadashangeshu namabihi. So they applied tilak for the child. So this is the process of protection they used. So very nicely they applied tilak. As in the commentary, I'm not sure who it is. Vishnu Chakravarti Jiva Goswami says that. So this is giving the quote from Padma Purana, like when we apply tilak, we lalate keshavam dhyayam narayana matodare. So that quotation is given. So you apply the tilak in Keshava, Narayana, in the stomach, and then in the chest. Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Dhamodara. So the 12 names of Krishna. So Krishna's name is chanted to purify Krishna. So this is the power of chanting his holy names. So Krishna himself likes to hear his names. So that is how they purified Krishna. So that's how they try to protect him. So that is what is being stressed here. And also from this we can also understand that we should not be lazy in applying tilak. Sometimes we see, some I just have some experience with the boys. Sometimes they take bath in the evening, And then they said, Prabhu, there's no need to put tilak, Prabhu. I said, tilak is it's very pleasing for Krishna, so we have to quote. So many quotations we have to give. It's very pleasing for Krishna. It is, then it is said if you are kantimala, and then, if you are tilak, the Yamadutas will not approach you. So, of course, our intention of putting tilak is, these are all secondary reasons, that we want to please Krishna. It's very purifying. And then you get a great opportunity again to think of Krishna by chanting his names. So here we see that's what they did. They protected the child by chanting the names. So now Srila Prabhupada, he goes on in this purport to make a very significant point, and also he stresses the importance of cow protection. And he is pointing out that a child can be freed from all kinds of danger simply by following this process as the gopis did. So he says that as described here, they knew how to wave about the switch of a cow so as to protect the child from all types of danger. That's the thing. So Prabhupada says that, so by protecting the cows, so many amazing activities are performed. The cow protection is being very much neglected in the modern day. People are not aware of it, and it's a very pathetic situation. So we need to know that we love cows because Krishna loves the cows. Krishna loves the cows, and we can see his name is Gopala, the protector of the cows. Govinda, his abode is Gokula, and also Gokula, Goloka. Everything is in connection with the cows. Krishna loves the cows. So as devote, and also Krishna says that Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. So he loves the cows and the Brahmanas. Krishna loves them very much. And also the Vedas, they recommend protecting the cows, and also how by protecting the cows, worshipping the cows, the whole entire human society, the entire human civilization will become sane, or real happiness will prevail only when we start protecting the cows and taking care of them nicely. Otherwise, the human civilization is gone. There is no civilization at all. It's finished. Once we harm the cows, we kill the cows, we give great anxiety to the cows. That's why we see in the modern day that there's more and more, the situation is becoming very chaotic. So that is one of the great problems. So, but the Vedas very much, they recommend of worship of the cows, protecting the cows, taking care of the cows, and it is very pleasing to the Lord. And then immediately the cows also reciprocate. So how they reciprocate? The first point that we can try to understand is that the cow gives the milk, and Srila Prabhupada points out milk is very nourishing to the brain. Specifically, to make advancement in spirituality, Srila Prabhupada very much recommends that one should take cow's milk. Of course, there's a big discussion about what kind of milk is that. I'm specifically speaking about good cow's milk, which is protected, which is nicely taken care, and cows happily give that milk. And what we use that milk, we make nice preparations for the Lord. We make nice dairy products. We offer the milk to the Lord. We make yogurt, and then from the milk we also get the ghee. And ghee is again a very important aspect in spiritual life. Ghee is used in sacrifices, and so the entire civilization is resting in protecting the cows. But it's so pathetic and so unfortunate that in the modern days, cow is being so much mistreated. Cow is the value of the cows, nobody knows about it. In fact, the whole civilization is promoting the slaughterhouse industry. So much slaughterhouse is happening. The slaughterhouses are being built, and it's I just before coming for the class, I just wanted to know. I heard some time back that India is also quite a great exporter of beef. I was just trying to check where is India in the ranking, in the world ranking. India is almost in the third. Maybe it may move to second also. That's what one internet page showed. But it's very pathetic actually. It's difficult even when to read it. But that's what is happening in reality. So many cows are being slaughtered. Some people protect the cows, and after they use the milk, and after that, once they don't give milk, they send it to the slaughterhouse. So but this is extremely sinful. This act is extremely sinful, and Srila Prabhupada points out in so many places. He points out in his lectures, in his conversations, in his informal talks. There are so many quotes. I just like to read a couple of quotes just to remind ourselves how the cows are protecting us. Prabhupada, in one of the lecture on the Srimad Bhagavatam in Los Angeles, September 19, 1972, Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna has given her the grass to eat. She is not interfering with your food. What right you have got to kill? You have got your own food. The cow has got the grass for her food. That is nature's way. By God's will, that a cow gives 40 pounds, 50 pounds milk daily, but it does not drink. Although it is her milk, it gives you human society. You take, but don't kill me. Let me live. I am eating only grass. Just see. And the civilized men killing them without touching your foodstuff. The cow is eating the grass which is given by God. Immense grass, and they are giving you the finest foodstuff, milk. Just after your birth, you have only to drink milk, either mother's milk. Nowadays, mothers do not supply milk. That is also to be supplied by the cow. So from the very beginning of my life, I am subsisting by the foodstuff given by mother cow. And when I am grown up, I kill. This is my gratitude. Just see. And they are called civilized. Less than lowest animal, Naradhama. They are called Naradhama, lowest of the mankind. Those who are killing cows, maintaining slaughterhouses, they are lowest of the mankind. So they are not human being, less than animal. They have no gratitude and they want peace. Just see the fun. So there are so many quotes of Prabhupada. This is one quote where Prabhupada is stressing the importance of protecting the cows. And you can see cow is so selfless. Cow is providing when it is as we say, when it is living or when it is dead. As we say for the elephant, when it is living and when it is dead, it is still worth what is the saying, that worth a lakh rupees or something like that, because of the ivory from the teeth of the elephant. Similarly, cows also, when they are living, they are providing milk. They're providing their urine, gomutra, the cow dung. It is used it can be used as a fertilizer, and also we can see there are so many right now. There are so many other organizations and other people who are aware of the great benefits of the products of the cows. They're promoting. It's one good way by which we can also somehow or other educate the common men and the people in the society that there is immense benefit. Previously, everybody knew about it. Now, because of the propaganda and so many misconceptions being promoted, people are not aware of it. So it's a great responsibility for us to promote the importance of protecting the cows, importance of how the cow is very selfless. It is giving us great shelter. On top of that, by protecting the cows and taking care of the cows, the Lord is very pleased. Krishna is extremely pleased. And also the cows, also they are very emotional. They reciprocate. Sometimes we can also see practically many people have this experience. You have some anxiety, you are mentally down and all those things. Just go to the Goshala. Just go and then serve the cows. Clean the place where it stays. Clean the cow dung. Pat the cow, massage the cow. We can see it is a great act. It is immediately the Lord is very pleased by this act. Krishna himself does that. Krishna personally is doing this. So as devotees of Krishna, we need to understand that serving the cows is really a great thing. And also not only that, as practicing devotees, it's our great responsibility to promote about the cow protection. In fact, our society is doing that in a large scale by distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. People come to know that actually killing animals. Yeah, we are very much very specifically speaking about protecting cows. Why? Not only the cows, we don't want to even harm an ant. So that is what the devotees of the Lord they do. Everybody knows that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So why we need to create anxiety for any living entity? And specifically, as the Vedas point out, that of the 7 mothers, cow is considered as one of the mother. As Srila Prabhupada is pointing out in this lecture, that what is the point? What is the harm it is giving to the society? And also when we speak about cows, we cannot neglect bulls also. So bulls also, because today there are so many modern technology, because of the so-called advancement of the modern technologies, we have so much of tractors, and tractors are is what is employed in all the lands. But then by the with the help of the bulls, if you engage in grazing and you engage in tilling the land, and that is what was done. All the bulls were engaged, and also bulls were used. The wheel, they were helped. They were used to extract oil, and so many other activities are done with the bull. Bulls were used as for transportation as well. And so in this way, we promote all this then, and are also by example. That's why we are starting so many communities where devotees go and live in the land. They protect the cows, and you can see by protecting, as Srila Prabhupada points out in another purport, that by protecting the cows, taking care of the cows reciprocate by giving milk, and that itself is taking care of the entire economic system. So now, there are people who always have this, they are very much money minded. So for them, also we can just promote that how with the cow products, that you can still, the cow, you can really maintain yourself. So much benefits you get. So then gradually, when they're sufficiently purified, they will also understand, reading the scriptures, that it is very pleasing act to serve the cows, because Krishna is very pleased. So that's an underlying point. So it's an important role for us to promote this. So the more we preach this, so what do? Yes, we have by preaching to the men and the women, that means the entire human society. So sometimes people ask, why don't you immediately start Goshala? Yeah, we are starting starting the International Society for Krishna Consciousness movements, because we are opening the branches. So that is the first step that we are doing. By that, we are trying to preach to the people about the importance of, first of all, raise yourself from the animalistic consciousness. Why this is happening? Why this kind of mentality is there? Killing the animals, specifically killing the cows, simply for the pleasure of the tongue. So it's a great responsibility on our side to give the transcendental knowledge. The human form of life is not to be wasted simply to satisfy the senses. Specifically, in this regard, satisfying the tongue. When the nature is providing everything, the nature is providing the grains, fruits. As from the cows we get the milk and the milk products. Why we need to kill them? Why we need to, in fact, kill any human animals? It's not required. So it's important for us to give this transcendental knowledge. And then, yes, as the community builds up, we need to take endeavor in going and living in the land, protecting the cows. We should show this by example, that by protecting the cows and living in the land, we can have a very peaceful society. Society can be very, very peaceful, and we don't have to go through all this. So many lectures Prabhupada speaks about. I have to go through big industries, and because of the industries, everything is so much linked. They have the industries, and then you can see there are so many products they are producing. Right, they are having leather products. They are using so many from the cows. They kill the cows, and then they use the skin, and they use. I heard that they use the blood for something. I did not have time to go through all these things. There is a big list which is given how by killing the cow they are using every bit of it. They are using it in the industries, and so everyone is linked. Everybody is linked. They just use the cows till they give milk, and the moment they stop giving milk, they just really kill it. But this is demoniac like anything. So it's important for us to understand this, and then also it's very important for us to promote. We should educate people that it is a great sinful act. The scripture speaks about various sins, and killing of the cow is the greatest sin. So Srila Prabhupada here in this purport is pointing out Goraksha Vanijyam. So whose responsibility is that? Only a portion of the society has got a responsibility to protect the cows. No, it's everyone's responsibility. Everyone should take responsibility. To start with, we may not be, maybe some people may not be physically be able to go and then do something to protect the cows. So if it is possible, we can go, as we discussed before, we can go and do some service in the Goshala. So that's very pleasing. And if not, even somebody can financially also help. There are so many Goshalas who are sincerely trying to protect the cows. They don't send, even after the milk, after they stop giving milk, they protect the cows, they take care of it. So one can financially help them. That is one way you can help, and then you can promote about in various lectures and preaching programs. We can tell about the importance of taking care of the cows, the importance of the cows. We can speak about the importance of drinking the milk. In fact, we can see the great, even traditionally, the great transcendentalist yogis, they sometimes, some of them, they sustain their life only with milk. It reminds me of a Bhagavatam verse in the first canto of the Bhagavatam. Also, there is an amazing lecture Prabhupada spoke on that. Just this verse is it is in relation when Shukadeva Goswami is wandering, going from house to house, and he's trying to help the family people to come out of the conditioning. This is a very nice verse. It explains about that. It says that Nunang Bhagavato Brahman Griheshu Grihamedinam Na Lakshyate Yavastanam Apigo Dohanam Kochit. O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. That's what Shukadeva Goswami was doing. He will just go house to house, and he will just drink little milk, and then he will go to the next house. Of course, while going there, he was purifying the entire house. So Srila Prabhupada in one of the lectures is making another point. He says that because in those days in the jungles there were many hermitages. Those who wanted to live secluded, live in the jungle, in the forest, they would have their home, very small cottage, and their means of living was milk and fruit. They would get fruits from the trees, and the kings would sometimes contribute some cows. So that was sufficient for them to have some milk from the cow and get the fruits from the trees in the jungle. That was sufficient. That is sufficient still. Anywhere, any part of the world, you can live without any economic problem, provided. There is no question of provided. Anywhere you can keep a cow. There is no expenditure. The cow will go out and eat some vegetables and grass. So you haven't got to spend anything for the cow. And when she returns, she gives you milk. Nice milk. We are trying to introduce this system in our new Vrindavan scheme. We are keeping their cows. And that place is in Virginia, Moundsville. It is about 3 miles away from any city or any citizen approach. But they are living very nicely, depending on some vegetables, fruits, and cow's milk. So actually, a man can live very peacefully and healthy life. Not only peacefully, if you are healthy, if your mind is in equilibrium, then naturally you are peaceful. So that was the system for the sages and hermits, that they used to live on cow's milk and fruits. This is from a lecture on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 17, Los Angeles. So again, we can see how Srila Prabhupada is. We can see time to time Srila Prabhupada, whenever there is a verse or whenever there is a point which relates to the cows, he immediately preaches. So there are two things. One is about the great ecstasy that Krishna was experiencing in protecting the cows, in taking care of the cows, the great Vrindavana village of the cows. So while we glorify that, we should also not forget to speak on the protection of the cows, and also how in the modern days that the cows are being mistreated. We need to speak this out, because people are completely in ignorance. They are just thinking that their life is okay. And also we can make people think why there are wars that is happening, why there is so much wars, why there is so much fight, there is so much anxiety in the society. Yes, this is the simple reason, because cows are not protected. Cows are royally slaughtered. So that is the whole point. So, any person who is little sane will think about this. And the first thing that he has to do is he has to stop himself eating cow flesh. And we can see that it has happened. Once when one person was asking, what are you doing? He said, we are distributing these books. Yes, we are also protecting, we are having goshalas, we are trying to protect the cows. But the main thing is that we are preaching about it, we are distributing this knowledge. We are trying to help people to come to sanity. And we can see so many people around the world who have taken up to the Krishna consciousness movement. They have given up meat eating. So it's so important for us to speak about it, and then ourselves understand the importance. And we can spend little time, and whatever little time we get, we can, apart from all our preaching activities also, we can go to the Goshala and then have appreciation for the cows. And in that way, I've told this before in the class. We had a devotee in the Padayatra who used to be it's very most of the time he's Rudra personified. He gets angry like anything. So there was one elder devotee who came, and then he was suggesting him. He just changed his service in the Padayatra. He had very difficult times dealing with him, so he just moved him to deal with the bulls. So his service was changed to take care of the bulls, and then he really sincerely put efforts to serve the bulls and serve the taking care of them very nicely, protecting them and like that. And really, there was a great difference after a couple of months, 2 3 months. He really cooled down. His attitude changed, and he was very peaceful, at least for some time. Whenever I saw recently, and I saw him in Vrindavan also. Really, I mean, the point that I'm trying to say is that actually by serving the cows, really the whole attitude, everything changes. So that's also another aspect of it. So there are so many different aspects of protecting the cows, but and we need to know about it, and we need to help people trying to understand this. So in this way, we can see here uh, the uh, the Vrindavana Vasis, the Vraja Vasis were fully aware of the great benefit of by protecting Krishna with a very ancient method of how by using the tail of the cow, they were protecting it, protecting Krishna, and that way Krishna himself is setting example that yes, we need to take care of the cows and protect the cows. So that's why Srila Prabhupada in his purport, he says that all the economic problems can be solved by protecting the cows, and on top of that, everyone wants to be peaceful and happy. That can happen only when we take care of the cows. So that's the point that Prabhupada says. And then with respect to the economic and other further benefits, Prabhupada also points out how by its urine and then by its stool, there are great medicinal values, which are now so many people are doing so much research. The scientific community and others are in US also. They have patent for Gomutra and all those things. So many things are there. So a lot of awareness is happening in the society. More should happen, and India should. With also another point that I missed is that if we have a powerful king, great personalities like Parikshit, Yudhishthira, Lord Ramachandra himself set example in protecting the society by protecting the cows, taking care of the cows, and there is no question of slaughter of the cows. So if this can be accomplished, the whole society will become prosperous. So that is what that should happen. And yeah, the more we distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, the more we preach this message, it will the pious souls or the souls who are even conditioned and they are in a crazy frame of mind, but really this message will provoke and make them think, and there will be a change in attitude. We hope for that, and we should have that faith with which we should go on preaching and distributing Prabhupada's books. So that is the only hope in the society. Otherwise, it's if we even think of this statement of how India being the third nation of the largest exporter of beef, it's really pathetic. It's a shame for us. So we have got a lot of work to do. We have to do a lot of preaching. Hare Krishna. Just stop here. If you have any questions or comments or any other points to add to this. Yes, Prabhu. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, true. Yeah, also another thing, as you said, there's also it's very much interconnected. So many industries are there, so they are all connected with the different products they get from the cow. So they don't want to. The politicians are also involved. They don't want to do anything about it. Right, royally, they are killing the civilization. That's what is happening actually. It's true. Yeah. And also we can see some of the people they are some of them they are appreciating when they have no clue when some devotees actually they don't drink milk when the cows are not protected. Just this thing that some of them it is making them to think, oh, why they are doing like this. Oh, that then they understand, oh, it's very sinful to kill the cows, and it really makes some devotees, they've created quite some impact on some people's lives. So really it requires big amount of preaching, and then so much to do in the media, and so many books are written, to be written, promoted, to be preached. And yeah, you have to, if we do not do it, then who will do it? We as International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we have to promote so much about this Krishna's culture, and then the living on the land and the farm and protecting the cows. And yeah, and when people see really when it is happening, when it is very much is actually this Prabhuji Sahadev Prabhu in his book on protecting the cows, he makes one interesting point that because people are more into economic sustainability, then we show that through the cows, great economy can survive. And he's explaining the point that you have cow products, milk products, and all this gomutra, all this medicinal effect. So, you don't need all these modern things. You can happily live in the society, and we show the example, and it will make people more think they will try to get into more simple life. And at the end of the day, it will make people really happy. That is an important thing. Anything else? Anybody wants to add? Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you see the right there in the 10th canto itself, we can see Krishna and Balram what they were doing. They were taking care of the cows, and they were taking care of, they are called as the farm acharyas. Balram and Krishna, what they are doing is they are taking care of the bulls and the cows. Yes. So yeah, there are I don't remember some stories, but there in Puranas so much information is given. We have to understand that the bulls are engaged; they're considered to be the father, and cows are considered to be the mother. They give the milk, and it is our great responsibility to protect them. And there may be more information in the Puranas about taking care of the bulls and cows. Anything else? Yeah, you cannot you cannot separate bulls. Yeah, it's automatically you cannot exclude that. Cow protection includes bull protection of the bulls. That's the whole point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also one other point is about the yeah. I mean, some people are becoming vegans. In one way, it's okay, it's good, but then again, we can also see that you may become a vegan, and then also then what, you are also you are in your own self-centered consciousness, you are in your own small narrow shell, you are also self-centered, you are good, you have given up eating meat and all those things. It's one way, it's good, but on top of that, you can understand the broader perspective of the society, the creation, um, why the Lord created this world, what is the purpose of it, and how by understanding the Lord's arrangement and system we can be happy. And yeah, the point is that yes, the cow should not be mistreated. It should be taken care nicely. So then the scriptures, so much, all great personalities, all the great acharyas, great personalities, they have used the cow's milk, and then cow's milk nourishes. So, so that also we have to understand. So that we are just not doing it whimsically, we are doing it as per the scriptures, and the cows give the milk happily. That's also there. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.